How we doing? Good.
We'll have Sam Bowie and Jim Maskey representing the team. And so we will, at this point, Sam, you will give an opening statement or about this weekend?
Okay, first of all, I'd just like to say good evening to everyone. I look around the crowd, I feel like I'm at home, so it's no stage fright up here. But this is real informal, kind of open it up to questions and answers. And as far as the 84 team getting together, just like to thank the university for acknowledging a team of 40 years ago. Jim Masters and I were sitting out on the court watching the young kids recently, and it's hard to believe we were 18-year-old kids and in the same spot they were. But Kentucky basketball is special, and for them to acknowledge old men like us, we appreciate it.
Okay. Sam was a senior that year, was All-American, of course, setting the stage for a long NBA career. So we'll throw it open for questions this time. Just go ahead. Yep.
Sam, just the dinner reception last night, what was that like? I assume there were some good stories probably told.
Some stories I would not be able to repeat. But no, when you get our age, all we can do is sit around and reminisce. And the brotherhood that we had back then, I think that had a lot to do with the success that we had in '84. No Eagles were involved. Guys didn't worry about stats. But the stories last night, some hilarious, some sad. Obviously, God bless Coach Hall, Brett Barrett, Melvin Turpin. It went from here to there, but it was a beautiful evening.
Tim, I think people probably, when you came back healthy, expected you to put up crazy numbers, and yet you were more of a facilitator. No. Talk about how that goes.
That's a good point. I was just telling somebody 30 minutes ago that I was the second pick in the draft, and I only averaged 10 points a game. I was talking to Coach O. We were out on the floor, and I was trying to tell him that these kids got to realize that if you do what you're supposed to do, you can do this thing for a living and get compensated at it. But I took the fourth most shots on that team. I averaged 10 points a game, but we as a group had a lot of success. So, but that's a good point. You don't have to go out and put up 30 points to be noticed. Jim and I, prior to walking to this press conference here, just said how the game has really changed. Everyone shoots threes. You have a 3-on-1 break. Instead of running to the blocks and getting a layup, everybody spots up for a three. The talent obviously has been taught to the point where you cannot just be a straight-up postman. So the game has gotten to the point where someone like me, I have to try and figure out what I'm watching.
Okay, question in the back.
You mentioned this team a little bit. Three big guys watching them. What do you think of this year's squad, and especially the three bigs?
The three bigs we have, I'm just glad I'm not on the roster because I wouldn't get any minutes. These guys, to see the progress, and I hear that Big Z's back tonight, so we need rim protectors. We need guys to get the ball off the glass and start our transition, because I think Cal's team is built where transition basketball is to our advantage. So I'm excited to see what our bigs look like tonight, but I think come March Madness, I'm a joker when I say this, if we don't win it this year, it's Cal's fault. I know that's going to be the lead story tonight. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, John.
Yeah, Sam, you guys obviously didn't win a national championship, but it seems like the fans still revere your team as championship talent. Why do you think that is?
That's an interesting question, because I feel like walking around here in the Commonwealth that they think I'm still on the roster. But the fact that we did come up short and did not get a chance to put another national championship banner up there, all through my pro career, every time I saw Patrick Ewing, I used to tell him he's walking around with my ring, because not you, Patrick, or anybody can tell me that we were not the best team in the country. We just happened to come up and have a half the way we did in Seattle, but I think the people are thinking like Mr. Bowie, that we still were the national champions. So.
Anyone else have questions, Dick?
First game of the year, took care of U of L pretty well. Ranked sixth in the country, kind of set the stage. What was that like? I have to think after pickup games, preseason practice, y'all knew you were pretty good. But when it came together that first game, talk about how that kind of set the stage.
Yeah, and for me, I had sat out 2 years, so I was really looking forward to contributing, and I felt like I had let the university down by not being able to play. But we as a team, I'm sure Jim feels the same way, we're very confident. We, you know, ranked top 5 in the country throughout the year, and we just felt as though there's a lot of things that a team had to do on that particular night for us to come up short. So we weren't cocky, we weren't conceited, but we were very confident. I felt that with Coach Hall too. There was a lot of pressure on him, as everyone knows, but we were a very confident team.
You have a question for Sam?
Sam, and you mentioned the Final Four, but is there another game along the way that stands out as a big memory that kind of captures what that team was about?
Yeah, without a doubt, senior year, when you come through the hoop, the memories, the emotions, knowing that it's coming to a close, all the relationships and all the love that we had as a unit. A lot of times the general public, they just see the ball thrown up and the game begins, but there's so many people that make it happen. And I knew after being here for 5 years that was coming to a close. So my last game here will stick out above. I was blessed to make the 1980 Olympic team and played double digits in the NBA, but Kentucky, my last game in Rupp Arena by far. Jim Masters' turn.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah, you're very welcome. Good deal. We get Jim up on the stage. I was hitting him last night. He was born about 3 or 4 years too early. So those who were around back then know what a great long-range shooter he was, and the three-point shot came in during the late 80s, and would have just been an incredible thing for this guy. Jim was an all-SEC player during his time here, and one thing that has made the reunion extra special this year, Jim has pledged a gift to the university of $1 million. Half of it is going to go to the Yadkin College of Business and Economics. The other half is going to be for the athletic department. So just a real special time, real special moment. Jim announced that, or Mr. Barnhart did last night at the reunion reception. And so just really pleased, thankful for what he's obviously what he has done for the university as a student athlete, but also continuing to do during his time here. So Jim, we'll talk anything about the reunion this weekend. We'll throw it over for questions.
Yeah, I'm better at questions usually, but Sam was great. Sam should have passed the ball to me a little bit more my senior year, I thought. And Melvin too, but God bless Melvin. God bless Brett Barrett. So a lot of special times. Being acknowledged as we all get older, everyone out here, your careers, you get older, you reflect. So I truly am thankful to the university and first class what they've done for us the last couple nights and keeping us updated. And my son's here, so my wife, they're not used to this as much. So my wife's from Cincinnati, and it's all good. So we've enjoyed it. A lot of great memories. Seeing all the guys, not all of them could make it, but just seeing them, a lot of fun for me. And it's a camaraderie. It's like a fraternity back then. Also, being as you get older, being a very small part of an unbelievable tradition in Kentucky basketball, you get more and more pride of that's what I did. So a lot of pride, a lot of great friends, a lot of great memories, a couple bad ones, but a all in all, it's been beautiful, I think, for all of us and for our families to come back. Beautiful.
All right, we have questions. Yeah, go ahead, Darryl. I thought about you guys, such a unique position because short of winning a national title, the Final Four is kind of the top. And yet you had such a difficult loss once you got there. Did the loss eat away at you all for a while as far as kind of taking the dim off that, or is it all, we made the Final Four?
Well, if you're asking, does it ever go away, I would say no. But again, we actually accomplished a lot in my 4 years. We won 3 SEC championships. We came in second, I think, in the other one. There you go. And we went to, my teams went to 2 Elite Eights. We went to a Final Four. So we accomplished a lot. We were basically rated top 5 almost all the played North Carolina up in the Meadowlands one a day after Christmas. So a lot of great memories, just that we didn't quite get to the finish line on a couple of them, but we had great careers, and I think we have a lot more great memories than we do a couple of tough ones, but that was a tough one. Yeah.
How many points would you have scored with that?
If Bowie and Turpin would have passed more, a lot more. Here is a reflection. I don't really think I cared that much for a while about the three-pointer, and people would ask me. But the older I get and the more games I watch, it's a little tough to watch. It's like, wow. Sam said it, the game has changed so much, to the better, I think. So outside shooting, I think the shot clock was the best invention ever. NCAA should have gone to that way before. But the three-pointer, I think it's exciting, it's fun. My son, I coach now the 8th grade team at Sayre, and none of them really take two-pointers. I hope you get the joke. You guys can take a two-point. You don't have to be out the three-point line at 8th grade. So it really has changed the game, I think, for the better. And yes, I reflect on that once in a while when I see these games. Hi, Dick.
Same thing I asked a minute ago. What are your thoughts on this team and the talent they have?
Yeah. As I told Sam, just sitting out there, and we've played. Sam played in the pros. I got drafted. I've been around great players, Michael Jordan, a lot in my career. It's amazing. I know you guys come to all the games to see how big and strong. Even to my son, I said, Leo, it's impressive to me. The young men walk by, and you're like, whoa. So extremely talented. Transition, that was a word used on saying. Transition game, wow. We even talked about, which I'm sure Coach Cal and the rest of his staff do every day, how are we going to get enough playing time for some of these guys? They all have showed, I might be thinking of one that maybe hasn't yet, but all of them have showed wow to me. So that's what they coach. That's what they get paid for. That's what they talk about. But I'm sure getting playing time, getting the right guys in there at the right time. So big deal, but wow, talented. And then Z comes back tonight. Really? I mean, wow. So.
Two-part question. Generous donation, why?
Yeah.
I'd like to do that. Number 2, how many times through the years have you been asked about the Eurobell shot?
I'm going to take the last question first. A lot. And I love it, okay? But that brings up another bad memory because bittersweet, that's one of my favorite words for that game. I had a great game. I had a great game before. Our team was right there without Sam Bowie. And a lot of pride there how we really came together at the end of the year. But if there was a three-pointer, okay, thank you. So I was really shooting well at that time, that whole season, if you follow. But anyway, so a lot, Dick, and it's a beautiful thing. My son or my wife, beautiful thing. So great question on my donation. So there's really about 6 reasons. One, I've had good fortune and good luck. I talked to Mitch about a year ago. Even better things have happened to me during this time. So I was thinking about it, Dick, for a while. And then I thought about education and all this. And so I live here. I played here. I'm part of a crazy tradition, small part. I graduated in 4 years, business. Proud of that. My brother Randy went to business school there. So the education part, the athletic part, I'm a big Mitch Barnhart fan for not only what he does on the court, but what he does off the court. My son, he didn't like basketball until last year, so that's fun. He's into it. We live here, I said, all those things. And I thought it was time to do something, how small it is. I hope it helps the university not only athletically, I hope it helps shows all young men or women that you don't have to be a first-round draft pick. You don't have to be a first-round baseball player, football. You can still be successful in life with a degree from Kentucky and be a student athlete and move on and do good things. I hope that does something for the university. I hope it does something for other people. And I'm proud to do it. Yes.
Reed Shepherd has surprised a lot of people. What do you see in him?
Wow. So I coached my 8th grade team, if I didn't tell you. And my Reed Shepherd's always the best. And what a fabulous player. And sometimes people say fundamentals as a negative, meaning he's not. His fundamentals are, I'm not a great coach like Coach Calipari. His fundamentals are crazy. And he's a crazy player. I mean, he's good, athletic and everything. So he's special. Also what makes him, I think, special, and Coach Calipari and his staff, I tell my young son and the kids on my team, it really doesn't matter if you start. It matters how much you play and how you play when you're in the game. And all those boys all look at him and say, who's always in the game with 5 minutes to go if it's a close game? Reed Shepherd. All these young men are talented. That's what we were talking about. There's so many good players, but I'm so impressed with Reed Shepherd, but more, not only of his fundamentals, how he conducts himself. He doesn't start, but he plays a lot, and when he plays his minutes, he plays them well. So, good question. Yes?
This current Kentucky team has been criticized for its defense, lack of it. If I recall, that wasn't your proudest season.
What? Did you not see the tapes? Or something?
What advice would you give this team on that defensive end?
Well, first of all, I'd give this team no advice. As your first thing was pretty accurate when wasn't the greatest defensive player ever, but people had to have offense too out there. But I don't think, well, they need no advice from me. They're so talented. And another thing, I know what are we in, late January? Yeah. I think their competitiveness has gotten way better on that end. I would not be worried about that at all. I'm sure Coach Calipari and his staff, they're probably all on him, but they look like they have the competitive fire when they get going. I still think the road's very long for them to continue to improve. So much quickness. Wow.
Jim, we had some fun with the hypothetical three-point line question. If you did have it then, would Melvin have pushed to be a stretch four?
Now that is a good question because he actually was one of the great shooters, great shooting big men. I really mean this of all time. He could shoot it. Well, back in those days, I'd say he could shoot it like a guard. Now all of them can shoot it like a guard, but I think he probably would have stretched out there. You're right. So maybe I wouldn't have got as many threes as I thought. So yes, he could do it. He was a shooter. I think Melvin was even a little better, just so you know. Sam was way better at other things. Melvin wouldn't pass the ball at all. Does anybody really? At all? Absolutely. Yeah. Well, again, till Brett's son is here and Brett's brother is here, and that's very nice. Tom Heights kind of helped out with getting that. And, you know, come on, guys. We're all getting older and gals. You think of things. And so there's some days I'll tell my son, you know, you don't want to do something. Well, seriously, I mean this as a compliment and a beautiful thing. Brett Barrett doesn't have a decision. You can get out of bed and go to school, okay? So I think about those things. And Brett Barrett and I were very close. He helped recruit me, and I was telling his son, crazy stories about recruiting me, but very bright guy. He would send me creative packages in the mail. They might blow up. They might say happy birthday. They might have UK, because he wanted me to come to UK. I don't know if it worked, but we had a lot of really serious fun times. He was a very, very bright guy.
Any other questions? Anything else for Jim? Not Jim, again, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.